What is up, guys? Sketchy here, coming at you with the 28th episode of Sketchy Unscripted. So yesterday was an average Wednesday. I was in my character design class reading comics when I should have been working on a project that was due on Friday. So yeah, average Wednesday. And I decided that before I actually do my work, I check EQD and see what's going on there. So I pull up my phone, scroll through the different news articles that they had, and one article caught my attention. Now, back around June, I want to say, of 2015, Hasbro launched a trademark for a line called Guardians of Harmony. They were very hush-hush about what it was going to be about. Everyone was speculating about it, and because it was basically about the toys, and I don't really discuss the toys, I didn't really care for it, and I didn't bother to discuss it on here. But on that fateful Wednesday, we got some more details about what Guardians of Harmony was going to be like. It was going to be an alternate universe, a universe separate from the MLP that we know and love, where it would focus much more on the adventure element of the series. MLP has been an adventure show, but it's also been mixed with slice of life elements. Both parts play about an equal role in FIM. Guardians of Harmony will focus more on the adventure aspects. Now, it's not this particular detail that got me intrigued by this series, but rather the subsequent announcement that IDW is planning on releasing comics related to the Guardians of Harmony universe. Of course, my first thought when I saw this announcement was, I gotta do a Sketchy Unscripted about this. And I even got a message from my good friend Nadi Ranko telling me, yo, did you see this? You gotta do an unscripted video on this. And I decided to wait until today to do it because since January, Wednesday has been my full day when it comes to school, as opposed to last quarter where I had no classes at all. So Wednesday has now become a day where I can't work on videos. But I'm actually glad that I waited until today because for the sake of this video, I went back to the article to make sure if anything was updated or if I read anything wrong. And lo and behold, there was an update. Bobby Curnow, the editor of the IDW MLP comics, answered a tweet regarding how this comic was going to be run because people were thinking, oh, is there going to be 3 issues a month now? Are we going to get Guardians of Harmony, Friends Forever, and the main series? And I was kind of worried about that too because I'm kind of happy with the release schedule that we have, and releasing 3 comics a month will just mess my schedule up. So Curnow's response to the question of whether it will be 3 comics a month, he says, as far as I know, not a new series, just pack in comics with the toys. And then there was a reply saying, I see, will these Guardians of Harmony comics be the same length as other comics or shorter? And Curnow says it's too early to say. Which is understandable because this comic series isn't going to be launched until this fall, so September at the earliest. Now, this Guardians of Harmony idea is a pretty interesting one to me. Prior to this update, I was wondering how often they would put out a Guardians of Harmony comic. Would it be alternating with Friends Forever, where 1 month we'll get a Friends Forever comic along with the main series? Then in the next month, we'll get a Guardians of Harmony comic along with the main series. Now, as Curnow said, it's too early to say how long these comics are going to be compared to the normal comics that we're used to. Considering that they're getting IDW and not just some random comic publisher to put the comics in with these toys, I don't think that they'll be too short, but I'm hesitant to say that they will be as long as the comics that we're used to. They're definitely going to be smaller in physical size if they're going to be packaged with the toys. Now that begs the question of, will I be getting these comics and will I be reviewing them? And I've been thinking about that, especially since this update. And the thing is, I'm not too fond of the MLP toys. I'm not too fond of the way they are built. These Guardians of Harmony toys do seem to be of a slightly higher quality than the FIM toys. But there's also the issue of, will different toys have different issues packaged within them? Like, for example, the first wave of toys will have a Shining Armor Battlesuit toy and a Celestia versus Nightmare Moon toy or something. And both toys came with their own individual comics. To put it in perspective, comic issues are normally $3.99. But in order to get these comics, I would have to pay a higher price because I will be purchasing a toy along with that. And to be completely honest, I'm not really down for doing that, especially when they're coming with toys that I don't even want, and I only have so much space in my apartment. I do hope that they release the comics digitally so that I can have some way to read them and officially support the comics. I know people are going to say, oh, you can read the comics for free on such and such a site, but I personally prefer to support the official releases because I want to support the industry. Now again, we don't get these comics until the fall. And things can change and things can develop as we learn more information about these comics. As of now, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to follow these comics because if I choose not to, I don't think it's going to be that huge of a loss for me, especially since this Guardians of Harmony thing seems to be an alternate continuity. But depending on what information we get in the months to come, that'll determine not only whether or not I cover the comics, but how I'm going to cover the comics. Because if they're just going to be like short issues that are like half the length of a regular size comic, I'm not going to pump out a full-fledged review for that. So those are my thoughts on the recently announced Guardians of Harmony comic series. Swarm that comment section below and let me know your thoughts, whether you're looking forward to this series, whether you don't care, what you would like to see from this series, etc., etc. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Unscripted, and until next time, keep it sketchy, folks.